afternoon, Bay Nation. Welcome to another episode of Fantasy Bay. I'm your host, Mike Williams, and here's my co-host, Geoffrey.
Good afternoon, Bay Nation.
In this episode, we're going to be going over the AFC North. And for those of you who do not know, that is the Steelers, Ravens, Bengals, and Browns. I'll be talking about the different ads, drops, and everything that's going to be affecting you in this upcoming draft season. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and hit the bell down below. All right, and without further ado, Geoffrey, let's get it started.
I'm on it, sir. Here we go.
We're going to start off with the Steelers. All right, Geoffrey, what's up first?
Coaches.
The head coach is still Mike Tomlin, but they did bring in a new offensive coordinator, Mike Canada. That being said, I think that the team is going to try to revert back to how they were with Le'Veon Bell, where they try to run the ball with their three-down back. Keep it moving.
Quarterbacks.
I don't think that Big Ben is going to be viable this year as a standalone fantasy asset, but I do think that he is going to produce two solid wide receivers, and the third one is going to be up and down. On to the next one.
Wide receivers.
Starting at the top, Deontay Johnson. I think that he is my favorite out of this grouping. He's a great wide receiver, and I think he's going to see a lot of targets, and that's what you want in your PPR league. So grab him in the 6th round. Next, we have Chase Claypool. Chase Claypool is actually going after my third wide receiver on this team, Juju Smith-Schuster. Chase Claypool is an athletic beast. He's tall, he's fast, and he's strong. I like him this year to have a solid year going in the 8th round. Give me some of that. Next, we have Juju Smith-Schuster, who tried his luck out in free agency, but decided that the well was kind of dry. So he came back on a 1-year, $8 million prove-it deal. He's a solid wide receiver, but he's not the guy we thought he was going to be when Antonio Brown left and he had the mantle to himself. Keep it moving.
Running backs.
Najee Harris is here to save the day. The Pittsburgh Steelers drafted Najee Harris 24th overall in the NFL draft, and I think that they're going to utilize him very well. He's a 3-down back, and as we've seen with Le'Veon Bell and previous running backs for the Steelers like to use one guy. So I think Najee Harris is going to be that guy. He's going towards the middle of the 2nd round, and I definitely like that value. Him not being in the 1st round makes me way more comfortable to draft him. On to the next one.
Tight ends.
Next, we have the tight end position, and I'm not really excited about Eric Ebron. I don't think they're going to be able to support all those receivers with Ben Roethlisberger throwing a little less and Najee Harris taking over more of the running back role. All right, let's get into the fantasy value of these players. Ben Roethlisberger, I'm not drafting in a 1-quarterback league. Next, wide receivers, Deontay Johnson is clearly my favorite. I definitely think he is worth a grab in the 6th round. In the 8th round, I think that Chase Claypool is also a solid grab. Juju Smith-Schuster is going in the 7th round. I'm not really excited about that. If he dropped to like 2 or 3 rounds later, maybe, but I'm not really excited about Juju Smith-Schuster this year. Najee Harris is a very solid ad this year in the middle of the 2nd round. I think you scoop him up and have a nice 3-down back. That being said, the offensive line for this team is not what it once was. They are definitely towards the bottom of the league. So that is going to limit a little bit of his upside, but Najee Harris is definitely going to be involved in the passing game, so I think that he's going to recoup that and the fact that he's going to get a lot of volume. And the tight end position, I'm not really drafting Eric Ebron, no thank you. All right, I think that's going to do it for this team. Geoffrey, on to the next one.
I'm on it, sir. Here we go.
Up next, we have the Baltimore Ravens. All right, Geoffrey, what's up first?
Coaches.
No major changes at the coaching position. Keep it moving.
Quarterbacks.
Lamar Jackson is an absolute beast. He had a bad start to the year last year, but he ended it on a high note. In the last half of the year, Lamar Jackson was a completely different player, playing much better. His rushing totals were 100+ yards a game. He's an absolute beast.
Wide receivers.
Marquise Brown is currently dealing with a hamstring injury. It was more severe than the team had originally assumed, but there's a chance that he's going to start the year. I will be monitoring that. If you want more of the detail, check out my injury report. Next, we have a wide receiver that they drafted in the 1st round, Rashad Bateman. Rashad Bateman is currently dealing with an injury to his core. If you want more details on that injury, also check out the injury report, but there's a chance that he's going to miss the first couple of weeks of the year. That being said, he was going to be a late round flyer. The first couple of weeks, we weren't going to play him anyways, but I think this is going to make him drop down draft boards, so I still think that he is a solid grab late. The team also brought in Sammy Watkins, and I can't believe I'm saying this, but he might actually be a possible ad. I'm not a big fan of Sammy Watkins. I like the talent, but he doesn't produce on the field on a regular basis, so I'm probably not going to be drafting him, to be honest with you. As a whole, the team does not throw the ball as much as a lot of the other teams, and that's definitely going to hurt your receiving core. Keep it moving.
Running backs.
Mark Ingram is gone, and that's going to open up more opportunities for J.K. Dobbins and Gus Edwards. Now, one thing you need to know about these running backs, though they are very talented and though they get work, Lamar Jackson is the primary runner on this team. When you have a quarterback that runs the ball as much as Lamar Jackson, you're not going to get as many dump-offs to the running back position, which is why J.K. Dobbins has not been getting very many targets, even though he is a viable pass catcher. I think that J.K. Dobbins definitely has some upside if they get him involved in that, but I'm not extremely confident that that will happen. And Gus Edwards is a great backup going extremely late, and I think that he will have viable flex play, as well as if J.K. Dobbins goes down, he will definitely be the main guy. On to the next one.
Tight ends.
Mark Andrews is an incredible tight end. I definitely like him. I think that he is going later in drafts than he had previously because last year people were very disappointed in him. So I think that Mark Andrews is a solid grab this year as well. All right, let's get into the fantasy value of these players. Lamar Jackson is an absolute beast, and he's going later than he had last year. You can grab him towards the 5th round, and I actually think that that's solid value for the quarterback position. If you can get Lamar Jackson, he definitely has #1 upside with his legs. Next, we have the wide receiver position. Marquise Brown is currently going in the 11th, 12th round. I'm really not excited about him, to be honest with you. I don't like pass catchers in offenses that do not throw the ball very much. Rashad Bateman is a late round flyer. If you want to test the waters on him, I totally understand. His upside is limited, but I do think he's a great wide receiver. And Sammy Watkins, I'm really not trying to draft. Next, we have the running back position. J.K. Dobbins is currently going around the 4th round. I can see that returning value. I'm not extremely excited because I'm always worried that he's going to get touchdowns taken away because Lamar Jackson's going to run it in. Gus Edwards isn't going to come off the field just because they're in scoring position. And he's not catching the ball as much as I would like him to. So I'm a little hesitant on J.K. Dobbins, but I do believe that he's a very talented running back and he could get some work. Gus Edwards is going towards the very end of your draft, almost undrafted. I actually think that he is a great depth piece to grab at the running back position. Next, we have Mark Andrews going in the late 4th, early 5th. I like him in drafts. I personally haven't been drafting him too often because I'm either getting one of those top 3 or towards the end of the draft. But if you're one of those people that likes to get your tight ends in the middle, I think that the 5th round is a sweet spot for him. All right, I think that's going to do it for this team. On to the next one.
I'm on it, sir. Here we go.
Up next, we have the Cleveland Browns. All right, Jeffrey, what's up first?
Coaches.
No major coaching changes we need to discuss. Keep it moving.
Quarterbacks.
Baker Mayfield is getting better as a quarterback, but he is nowhere near elite. He's almost not even being drafted in leagues. I'm not a big fan of drafting him in redraft leagues, but I do think that he is becoming a better quarterback towards the end of the year. I do have some hesitations with Odell Beckham Jr. being back. When Odell was out of the lineup, Baker Mayfield spread the ball around a lot more, but when he was in the lineup, he was trying to force feed Odell. So if they can work that out, I think that he could be a solid play, but I'm really not drafting him, to be honest with you. On to the next one.
Wide receivers.
Starting at the top, Odell Beckham Jr. coming off of an ACL injury last year. He's been injured on and off for the last few years. He's one of the few receivers you can draft in the 7th round, where it wouldn't be surprising if he finished in the top 10. He's an extremely talented wide receiver. That being said, this is a run-first team. They have the best offensive line in the league, and they love to run the ball. Jarvis Landry is a PPR play, but he lacks upside. I'm really not excited about Jarvis Landry. He's going towards the 10th, 11th round, and I'm shooting for more upside than I can get back from Jarvis Landry. Keep it moving.
Running backs.
Woo! Yes! Nick Chubb just got paid, baby. I love Nick Chubb this year. I think he's one of the best running backs in the league. He is undervalued, and you know that the team is going to run the ball. He just signed a 3-year, $36 million deal. That is absolutely incredible. And like I said before, follow the money. I definitely think he's going to be a great ad going at the end of the 1st, early 2nd round. Next, we have Kareem Hunt. Kareem Hunt is a very talented running back. He's definitely the number 2 in this offense, but they use him out wide as a receiver, and he also is a good running back up the middle. That great offensive line is definitely going to help him too. Keep it moving.
Tight ends.
Austin Hooper went from being an incredible tight end with the Falcons to a meh tight end with the Browns. I'm really not drafting him. He's going super late for a reason. All right, let's get into the fantasy aspect of this. You're not drafting Baker Mayfield, and if you wanted him, you can get him after your draft. Next is the wide receiver position. Odell Beckham Jr., I think you can grab him because he definitely has some upside, but I'm worried about his health. Then we have Jarvis Landry. He's a fine ad, but I'm really not trying to add him because I think he doesn't have upside, and this team wants to run the ball. That is the identity of this team. They like to run the ball. Speaking of running, next we have Nick Chubb going at the top of the second round. I really like him there. I think if you could start your draft off with an elite player in the first and grab Nick Chubb in the second, incredible start. Next, we have Kareem Hunt. I think that he is a solid value in the 7th round. If he was going any higher, I would be hands off. But 7th round for a running back with the talent of Kareem Hunt and the upside of if Nick Chubb gets injured, he can swoop in and be one of the best running backs in the league. Definitely love that. And the tight end position, I'm not worried about Austin Hooper. All right, Jeffrey, on to the next one.
I'm on it, sir. Here we go.
Up next, we have the Cincinnati Bengals. All right, Jeffrey, what's up first?
Coaches.
Yeah, there's no major coaching changes that we need to worry about, so keep it moving.
Quarterbacks.
Joe Burrow is coming off of a horrific injury in week 11 of last year. He tore his MCL and his ACL. Oh, it was an awful injury. If you want more on that, please check out my injury report video. On to the next one.
Wide receivers.
The Bengals decided to draft Jamar Chase with the 4th overall draft pick. Even though they really needed to fix their offensive line, they wanted to get Jamar Chase because Jamar Chase and Joe Burrow were college buddies and they wanted to rekindle their LSU magic. And I think that Jamar Chase is going to be a very solid wide receiver. He's having some troubles at camp, but he is a rookie. I definitely think he's going to come in and figure out the offense in due time. Next, we have T. Higgins. T. Higgins is a big wide receiver. A lot of people don't know this. He's like 6'4", 215. He's a big boy, and I love where he's going in drafts. Towards the 8th round, that's a solid spot for him. Next, we have Tyler Boyd, who is going all the way at the 10th round. It's not bad because I think that this offense is going to be throwing the ball a lot, and if they're going to be throwing the ball, I think that they're going to have to spread it around. Keep it moving.
Running backs.
Joe Mixon is back from injury. Last year, his year ended terribly because when he got injured, it's not just that he got injured and then shut him down for the rest of the year. A lot of fantasy owners are very upset because the coaches kept saying, oh, he's going to come back in a week or two. Oh, it's coming back next week. He's coming back a week after that. And then he's shut down for the year. So you held him on your roster this whole time when you could have just dropped him and moved on. But instead, he clogged up a roster spot. And that really upset a lot of fantasy managers. Me included, because it really hurt just holding on to him like, he's going to come back, and nothing. So that was frustrating. But this year, he's coming back healthy. Giovanni Bernard is gone. They re-signed Samaje Perine, but I'm not worried about him. I think the majority of the work is going to go to Joe Mixon. And right now, he's going in the middle of the 3rd round. I like that value. On to the next one.
Tight ends.
The tight end position, no thank you. I'm good on that. All right, let's get into the fantasy value of these players. Joe Burrow is currently going as the top 12 quarterback. I am not a fan of that. He's not playing well at camp. He believes that it's a mental thing, and I understand that. Coming back from a horrific knee injury, I can definitely understand why he would be very hesitant to step into throws and be confident that his leg is secure. But going 12th for the quarterback position, nah, I'm good. Moving on to the wide receiver position, my favorite wide receiver to grab out of these three is actually T. Higgins. I do like Jamar Chase, and I do think that he has a solid year, but I think that solid year comes from a slow start, and you might be able to trade for him. Right now, Jamar Chase is going in the 7th, T. Higgins is going in the 8th, and Tyler Boyd is going in the 10th. I think they all have solid value, but T. Higgins, I think, is the best value of the three. Next, we have the running back position. And Joe Mixon, like I said earlier, going in the middle of the 3rd round. I think that's solid value to grab him there. Some people are grabbing him in the 2nd round, and I do think he has huge upside. If Joe Mixon stays healthy, I think that they are going to get him the ball because the offensive line is terrible. They're going to need to get the ball out of Joe Burrow's hands quick. That means they're going to throw it to the running back more, and the running back they're going to throw it to is Joe Mixon because Giovanni Bernard is out of there. And I'm not worried about the tight ends. I think that's going to do it for this team and the division. If you have any questions, don't hesitate to ask. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and click the notification bell down below.
See you soon, Bay Nation.
I'll see you in the next division breakdown. Peace.